What's up, Fit Fam? Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have you because today we're gonna go over a variety of stuff. Some squat form and things to maybe try to look for, some flexibility. So obviously you guys know by now that I had my ACL repaired 2 times. So I tore it, I had reconstruction, and flexibility and range of motion is my life. It is a huge part of me being able to continue to lift. And so what I want to bring you today is some of the exercises that you can do to work on being able to be flexible during a squat, things to maybe try to avoid or to look for to help you to be able to actually squat. So this is going to be really easy to follow. It's going to be pretty much a step-by-step of things that you can do or look forward to doing to kind of help you along with your journey. When I was personal training, these were some of the things that I found the most in my clients. So my main focus as a personal trainer, as a coach, were basically beginners. This is what I found were some of the most difficult things that people were having a hard time with. And so today I want to bring you just these things that I know just didn't happen to my clients. It happens to other people too. During this, I'm going to do a voiceover for you, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to be able to speak to you if my back is to you and the wall is actually what I need. You probably recognize a little bit of this room from my office transformation. It's not done yet, we're still working on it. So let me go ahead and get started. Here I'm going to show you a few of my favorite exercises in order to help increase mobility and flexibility within a squat. So right now, all I'm doing is just rotating my hip flexors, really getting them warmed up, and then I'm going to back myself up along the wall. Basically, the wall is just there as a starting point for me. You can do this without the wall, it's not necessary. But I'm following the line of the wall, and I'm keeping it nice and low, and I'm just shuffling from side to side. This next exercise is making sure that your hamstrings are warmed up. I think a lot of people forget that our hamstrings do a lot of the work while we are squatting, and keeping them warmed up and fully functional is so important, especially because the hamstring wraps around to the knee itself. And so we want to make sure that our ACL and meniscus, all the things that keep our knee moving, stay healthy. You can do this exercise weighted, but just for stretching purposes, I like to do it non-weighted just so I can really get the feel through my hamstrings and making sure that they're really stretched out. Now I'm going to show you the proper squat form. What I'm doing is making sure that my knee is parallel with my toes. If I look down from a squatting position, I should be able to see the top, or I guess the tips of my toes. And I'm making sure that there is a nice parallel line from my knee all the way down to my toe. Now we're going to use the wall as my guide here. This is probably my number one choice of exercises to do when your range of motion, your mobility, your flexibility all lack with a squat. You want to stay nice and close to the wall no matter which side you're facing. And because the wall is there, you aren't able to go forward in the motion. So a lot of times you lose your balance, you might lean forward a little bit, and then if you turn around and use your heel up against the wall, it does the same thing. It helps you so that you're not able to lean backwards. And so this kind of gives you a good idea as to maybe where a starting point is for the squat itself. This exercise right here, it really warms up my hip flexors. Obviously, my room isn't long enough, but if you are in a gym environment, you can go the full length of the gym and then take it backwards. Now here, I'm just going to show you a few different stances when you're squatting. So you have a fairly close stance, which my feet are pretty close to actually touching. And then we have kind of like a medium stance, which is parallel with like your shoulders or maybe where your elbows hit, which is actually my favorite. Then we finally have a wide stance. Now this one is actually very popular with my husband. I never see him do anything but a wide stance, so it must work well for him. Your stance is going to be preference, but some of these stances do have different benefits. Now this last thing I want to show you here is so very important for optimal knee health. The first thing that you're going to see here is that when I go down into a squat, when I go to stand back up, I'm actually almost rounding my knees out. So I'm pushing outwards with my knees and making almost a small kind of oval with my legs, and then I'm standing up. Then you're going to see probably what not to do here. What I see very, very often, especially when people are lifting weights that they probably shouldn't, meaning that they're probably too heavy. So you'll notice that my knees come together and then they actually bow inwards. So first I'm going to show you how to breathe. That way you can get the most out of each lift. So what you're going to do is take a nice deep breath while you're standing up. Hold on to that breath, go down into your squat, stand back up, and then release that breath. What I see most often is this very last thing that I'm going to show you is people go to take a deep breath when they're standing up, and then they release it once they're actually sitting in that squat. By the time they go to stand back up, they're all out of gas, all the air's gone out of their lungs, and they aren't able to push the weight back up. Again, this is just strictly beginner. Some of the stuff that I have found over the years just working with my own personal training clients. This is some stuff that people tend to have a hard time with. You can grasp it in your mind, but then when you go to do it, your body is having a hard time with it. And that's purely because you might not be used to doing it. Your flexibility maybe is not so good, your mobility not so good. So these are some things that you can do to try and work that into your everyday routine, because flexibility and mobility are so, so important. Now, we don't want you to get hurt, so next time you're at the gym, give some of these a try. Don't be afraid to stay with the light weights until you are completely comfortable and confident in what you're doing. Comment below if you have any questions at all or if this was helpful to you, and I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.